Okay, guys, we're gonna try a little bit more foiling here. Stamp pad foiling. Okay, so hopefully you've watched my previous videos. If not, I will link them at the end for you. Today I did a couple different samples, and we're gonna do 2 more here quick. Okay, so I'm gonna move my little mini mink over a little bit. Okay, so this is the stamp that I'm using. It is called Zebra Pear. You can pick it up at Las Vegas Stamps. I believe it's vlvstamps.com. And this is what it looks like when you stamp it out normally with VersaFine Clair stamp. So you can see there's some detailed areas, there's some lines, there's some shading. So really cute stamp, right? Okay. So then I did black embossing powder on it. And you can see that we lose a lot of that detail. It's just not as crisp and clear and pretty. And that's using regular black embossing powder. I think it's Sparkle and Sprinkle brand black embossing powder, okay? I mean, it doesn't look bad by itself, but when you put it next to this one, you can see there's a huge difference, okay? All right, so I just stamped it out with some Brutus Monroe Icicle embossing powder. Now, Brutus Monroe does tell you in his new, Christopher Allen in his new, his foiling embossing powder that it is an ultrafine embossing powder, but it is an embossing powder. So I have not purchased it yet. But I imagine we're going to get pretty similar results. And then I just used a piece of scrap black foil here. So this is usually the case with foiling with embossing powders. What happens is the embossing powder gets reheated and melts. And I know you guys are saying, well, embossing powder. Yeah, but again, you're not getting the detail. You're really losing more detail than just embossing it by itself and trying to foil it. So I wanted to demonstrate that to you guys because so many people have asked me about doing that. Okay, so now we're gonna try our homemade ink pad here, which you can see we've been doing lots of experiments with. Okay. This is the ink pad, the original ink pad we've been using for the last 2 weeks now. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, it's still gooey. Okay, I'm gonna leave that out. Okay, and then this is our little homemade stamping pad that I made with some cut and dry foam. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put a little bit of more of the toner ink on both of those. Let me write down here what we're doing so that I don't mess it up. Okay, so one is going to be cut and dry foam, one is going to be the Heidi Swapp ink pad. And I think we're just about at the end of the bottle of this toner anyway, so. Now, before I do that, I want to show you this is completely dry, but it's still malleable, like it's not too hard or anything, but none of the toner is coming off onto my fingers. We're good there, okay? A tiny bit there. All right, now this one looks like it's wet, so there is still a little bit of toner in that one. And I think, like I said, the big reason why is because the lid, it kept sticking to the lid, so I think it kind of, what's the word I want to use? Like it protected itself by sticking to the lid. So it was covered. Okay. So I'm going to take a little bit more of this. Okay. 5 milliliters of that. Pour it back in our cut and dry foam pad. Oops. No. Okay, so since this foam pad was already used before, that ink has created almost a barrier on the top of the pad, so it's taking a long time to soak in. It's kind of rolling off, if you guys can see that. So I'm just trying to press it in with this little gift card. All right, once you get it going, it goes in, no problem. All right, we do have a little bit of dripping here, which I'm able to pull up and put back in there. Oops. Okay, and I'm also going to take a little bit more and put it in our Heidi Swapp pad, just a little bit. This is still the original pad. I have not had to switch the pad out. The only time I threw the pad away was when we did our own, like the glue pad. It got all hard and was not usable. It came apart. It actually disintegrated with the Heidi Swapp Mink paint. Oh, I guess I should turn Tim McGraw down. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so that soaked right into the Heidi Swapp pad, no problem. Okay, and once again, we're going to cap the lid, put that away, grab a Clorox wipe. These are like worth dollar bills, these Clorox wipes now with this quarantine going on. What will we do without crafting, you guys? Clean that up, okay. All right. Just gonna set that off to the side. Okay, and let's give it an inking. Another question someone asked is, would it work with Versamark ink? Versamark ink is not an adhesive ink. It's just a sticky ink, but it's not an adhesive ink. So when heat hits it, it dries. When you use it with embossing powder, the embossing powder has an adhesive property, but not the Versamark ink. Also, someone asked about Perfect Medium. Let me show you what happens with Perfect Medium ink pads. So I don't know what this ink pad is made of, but it has a very sticky consistency. But it's very similar to Versamark in that it's sticky, it's not adhesive. So I find my ink pads always end up disintegrating like that. So that will go in the garbage. This is what it's supposed to look like. And it comes in the mini or the large, and you want to get a refill with that. I very rarely use this because, again, you can see it gets kind of saturated, and then, you know, it reminds me of like honey. It loses its ability for stamping. So, yeah, I usually go through one of these a year because they just don't hold up. Okay, it is a very sticky ink, but same thing. I don't think it has an adhesive property to it. It's just a sticky ink. The adhesiveness is actually built into the embossing powder or the Perfect Pearls you're using. Because I did try stamping with this before and using foil, and it doesn't stick. So I just want to let you guys know that. I don't want to demonstrate that. I just know it doesn't work. Okay, so I'm going to pick up the Heidi Swapp ink pad. I'm going to move the paper over here. And I'm just lightly tapping. I am not shoving this ink pad down onto the stamp. I'm just very lightly kissing it. And again, I think, oh, paper matters. Shoot. I'm using Nina Solar White here. Whoopsie. Well, we'll see how it holds up. I think paper matters, and I think this ink pad being honestly older, day or two old, with that ink sitting in there and it getting kind of tacky and sticky and dried out a little bit, works better than using it fresh. Okay, I think I have it pretty well covered. There's a little spot right here. And again, light is better. Hopefully, we'll find out. Now, this might be a little weird too because we're actually going to be putting black foil on this. I'm going to have to change the color of foil because if I put black foil on it, you're not going to see what foiled and what didn't foil because the ink pad's black. So we'll do a different color foil. We'll make some pink zebras or something. I didn't even think about changing my paper out. Oopsie. Okay. Ugh, that's sticky. Ah, missed the spot. Well, I'm not going to restamp it. It doesn't look too bad. It's not the coverage that I would like. All right, I'm going to use this wipe, and it's a Clorox wipe, clean this off. Okay. Okay, dry it off. Bring this one over. This is the cut and dry foam. Now that looks really, really inky. I'm gonna, yeah, oh yeah, there's a lot of ink on there. Okay. Again, just very gently going to kiss it. Way more ink saturation on this pad because it's sitting at the top. I don't think we're gonna get as good of an impression with this. I'm just actually gonna swipe. Because I think we have, the ink is too fresh, so it's going to be too liquidy. I think we're going to have blobs. But we shall see. I'm actually going to use this to clean some of that up. Yeah, we're going to get some blobs there. Okay, let's try it. Line up my stamp. It's not too bad. It looks like a watercolor of them. Okay. Definitely a difference between that ink saturating for a few days versus it being fresh. Ooh, there's a big glob there. Gave himself a mohawk. You know what that is? That's the paper pulling up. That's what it is. Okay, well, hopefully we won't have that issue. And we're gonna give those a second to dry. We're gonna scrub our little stamp off. Okay, now while those are setting or drying, I'm going to use some gold because you can see see that through there. And if you didn't go check out Creative Vision Stamps Retirement Sale, go check it out. While supplies last, on orders of $25 or more, if you use the code Nancy Stamps, that is the code, Nancy Stamps. If you put a foilables, animal foilables in your basket, then you put in the code Nancy Stamps at checkout, in the coupon code, the price of the foilables will come out of your basket. I think they're like $5, $4.95 or something like that, okay? But the code is Nancy Stamps. Now, she has gotten a ton of orders. You cannot go back and email her and say, hey, I forgot to put that in my basket. You know, can I have it? It's not fair. There's only 2 employees that are doing all of these orders, so... And be patient because the orders are taking longer than, because there's only 2 of them and they did not know that it was going to blow up like this. So I'm very grateful to all of you that have joined Creative Vision Stamps through my channel, and I really want to support her. Like I said, she's retiring. She has a new grandbaby. But once they're gone, they're gone. So I do appreciate everybody being getting the foils and being patient. What I don't appreciate is people emailing me or people emailing Laura and being nasty about it. It's a promotion out of the goodness of her heart. She does not have to do this. For her to do that for my viewers is amazing. Yeah, you have to watch the video to get the code. It's not just going to be let's tell everybody about the code. It was to help get me a couple more viewers through her channel before she retires, because I won't have her anymore, and also help her clear out some inventory by me using the animal foilables and using the double foiling method. I thought they were just great for that, and she suggested, you know, that she would give away those foilables for you guys. So to everyone who has been gracious about it, this is not a nasty message to you guys. I love you guys. I appreciate that. But there are some people out there that are taking advantage of the situation, being nasty, sending nasty emails to Laura. I've gotten a few nasty emails, and honestly, this is supposed to be crafting, guys. It's supposed to be fun. We don't need to act like that. Okay, we're adults. I know everybody's stressed out right now with the quarantine, but let's have fun. Go over there, order some foils. Once they're sold out, they're sold out. I know the newer ones are selling out very, very quickly. I don't know if there's too many of the rainbow ones left. They're beautiful, the color falls. But let's not be jerks. That's all I'm saying. All right, so I'm going to dust off the back of my foil here. We're going to start with the Heidi Swapp one. We're going to use our little mink cover sheet. I've gotten a lot of questions on these mink cover sheets. Like I said, they're at scrapbook.com for like $3 for 2 6x6. I will link that for you. Also, the mini mink is still on Amazon for $39.99. I will link that for you as well. There are very few left. I think it said 15 left when I checked this morning. So I will link the mini mink, and I will link these little foiling transfer sheets for you as well. They absolutely make a difference in your foiling. I don't care what anyone says. Parchment paper gets wrinkled up. You got to throw it away after using it a couple times. You guys have seen me use the same mink sheets, get toner and foil and glitter stuck all over them, and I've used them over and over and over again for years. So yes, I do recommend using these cover sheets, these transfer sheets. Okay, so that's that one. You always want to let it cool down. Okay, if you want the absolute best way to do stamp and foiling, it's still going to be to stamp your image, just like I did with this one here, in a really dark ink, scan it into your computer, and print it with a laser printer. That is the best way for you to get detailed foiling. None of these other products that are out on the market right now are working. So here it is with super fine embossing powder. Here it is with just regular embossing powder. That's not even foiled. That's just regular embossing powder. And now we're using the 2 new products, which again, I don't suspect that these are going to come out too great, but I just wanted to show you guys we're still trying. Okay, so we're going to reveal this one first. And this one was, again, using the Heidi Swapp Mink toner pad. That came out pretty good, actually. That is not too bad. Again, I think the secret with that ink pad is you gotta let it get kind of stale, like Peeps. Peeps are better when they're stale. And if you're not a Peeps person, shame on you. Send me all your Peeps. But that came out pretty good. So let me show you the original stamped image. That looks pretty good. It actually looks pretty cool in gold. You know, I could do like a sunset background on here. All right, that looks pretty darn good. I'm very pleased with that. That is probably the first time in a week that we've gotten that toner pad to work in 2 weeks. That worked out pretty good. It needs to be a dirty toner pad. It has to sit out for a day or two. Get a little bit sticky. Pretty good. I'm impressed. All right, Heidi, I think I'm changing my mind on this now. I think we just needed to learn that you gotta let it stew for a day or two. Okay. And then this is using the homemade cut and dry foam, which is not too bad either. Now, you can see that it's definitely more blobby than the Heidi Swapp. The Heidi Swapp wins today. There's way more detail. Even the finer little detail spots came out better. Here, there's just some blobbiness. Still okay. Not terrible. But Heidi Swapp toner pad wins this round. And if you use it with that other paper, that matte coated paper, that's probably going to give you even better results. Okay, so I think the secret to using this pad is, I think we broke it, guys. The code is to use that pad a little dirty. It's got to be, now my pad is 2 weeks old. Same pad, 2 weeks old, and it's been sticking inside there. That actually came out pretty good. I'm looking for places that are not foiled, and the whole thing is foiled. There's no black coming through there. And of course, I use Creative Vision Stamps foil. It's the best. Okay, so for those of you that were afraid to try it, or you have it and you don't know if you should send it back, I think it works. I think we need to just, like I said, let it get a little dirty and try it out. The cut and dry foam doesn't work too bad either. I bet you the cut and dry foam would work great with the mink paint, but they got rid of it, so there's no point in even trying that. But yeah, there we go. So again, if you want to order foils up to $25 before shipping and tax, you put the animal foilables in your cart. You must put them in your cart if they're still available. They're animal toner foilables. Once they are in your cart and you go to check out, it has to be $25 before you put those in there. Then you go and there's a little box at the bottom when you check out that says coupon code or discount code. You put in Nancy Stamps. NANCYSTAMPS. Nancy Stamps. The foilables will then be free. It's that simple. Okay, they're great for double foiling. You guys saw I mailed out a whole bunch of cards. Hopefully you guys all got them by now, except for I did send a couple international folks, a couple to Canada. I think one went to Brazil, which was pretty cool. I never sent a card to Brazil before. The mini mink is still on Amazon for $39.99, free shipping. I will put that link for you. The transfer folders are like $3 on scrapbook.com. I will link that for you. And the Heidi Swapp toner ink set I did get from Technique Junkies. If you guys can support her, she's mailed it out in like 2 days. So Technique Junkies, I will link her website for you guys. I'm not affiliated with her. You can just put a note in there that Nancy sent you. I will see her hopefully at the end of this month at the stamp show. But that's Technique Junkie. So I will link everything for you. Again, we're just going to keep playing around with this until it dies. It hasn't died yet. We're doing really well. We just need to make sure that our ink pad is kind of old and sticky, like I said. I'm going to keep playing around with it and stamping with it and see what I can get out of it. So there you go, guys. If you have any questions, of course, comment down below. I'm here to help you out. If you like this video, I appreciate your thumbs up. Stay tuned. We have a lot more videos coming up with the little baby Joy we added to our family. I've had so much fun with her. I'm still playing around with her before I make any videos. But in the meantime, if you're not a subscriber, click the little button that's going to come up in the corner and the bell, and you'll get a notification when I post videos. Thanks for watching, and keep on foiling. Bye-bye.